Hi there, and welcome. Look, if you or someone you care about is dealing with a multiple myeloma diagnosis, you know the treatment path can seem, well, pretty overwhelming. So today, what we're going to do is lay out a clear map for that journey. We're going to zero in on a really key stage called maintenance therapy. It's all about keeping the cancer in remission for the long haul. So let's just jump right in. All right, so let's start with the big question, right? What does the treatment path for multiple myeloma actually look like? It's not just one thing, it's really a journey with a few different phases. And, just understanding what those phases are, that's the first step to feeling a bit more in control of everything. Okay, here's the game plan for today. First, we'll talk about how the whole journey begins. Then, we'll get into the first big step, induction therapy. After that, we'll dive deep into maintenance therapy. Look at the pros and cons, see what the long-term picture is, and wrap up with your role on the team, which is a big one. Sound good? All right, part one. Your treatment journey begins. And the key thing to remember right off the bat is that this isn't just a random series of treatments. No, it's a very structured path with a clear ultimate goal, getting to long-term remission and keeping that myeloma away. So yeah, the overall strategy here isn't a one-and-done deal. It's much more like a multi-stage process. Think of it like a relay race, where each runner, or in this case, each phase of treatment, has a really specific job to do. So let's walk through these stages so you can see exactly how they all connect. Okay, moving on to part two, the first steps. This is really where the rubber meets the road, where the active fight against myeloma kicks off. And this phase has a name. It's called induction therapy. So what is induction therapy exactly? Well, it's the first major offensive. Your doctors will typically use a powerful combo of 3 or even 4 different drugs, given over several cycles. The goal here is simple but aggressive. Hit the cancer hard and fast, and just knock down the number of those myeloma cells as quickly as possible. Now, after that initial phase, you get to a real fork in the road. The path forward from here really hinges on the answer to one huge question. Are you a candidate for what's called an autologous stem cell transplant? You'll hear it called ASCT for short. And that one answer leads down 2 pretty different paths. If the answer is yes, you are a candidate, then the next steps are usually collecting your stem cells and then moving on to the transplant itself. But if the answer is no, if you're not a candidate for a transplant, then the plan is different. It usually involves continuing with more rounds of that induction therapy to keep the myeloma in check. Okay, part 3, maintenance therapy. So after all those really intensive first steps, the whole strategy kind of shifts gears. And this brings us to the main event for today, maintenance therapy. This phase is all about playing defense, keeping that myeloma in remission and making sure it doesn't come back. So what is it really? Well, think of it like this. Induction therapy was the big, aggressive push to put out the fire. Maintenance therapy is like having firefighters stay on site to make sure no new embers flare up. It's a continuous, but much lower intensity treatment designed to keep the myeloma down and maintain that hard-won remission. And why is this so important? I mean, what's the payoff? Well, the evidence is really clear on this. Maintenance therapy does 2 absolutely critical things. First, it helps you stay in remission for longer. And second, it actually improves overall survival. I mean, those are 2 huge, incredibly powerful benefits. So what does this treatment usually involve? For most people, the standard is a single pill, a drug called Revlimid. But, and this is important, the plan is always customized to you. For instance, if you have certain high-risk markers, your doctor might add another drug to the mix. And if Revlimid is causing tough side effects, don't worry. There are definitely other options, like a different class of drugs called proteasome inhibitors. Which brings us right to part 4, benefits versus risks. Because let's be honest, with any long-term treatment, it's never just a simple yes or no. It's a conversation, and it's all about weighing the pros and cons so you can make a truly informed decision. And really, it boils down to this balance. On one hand, you've got those game-changing benefits we just talked about, more time in remission and better overall survival. That's huge. But on the other hand, you have to consider the potential risks, mainly the side effects that can come along with any long-term treatment. So, this is the takeaway here. This is not a decision you have to make in a vacuum. It is so important to have a really open, thorough chat with your doctor. Talk about your specific health, your lifestyle, what's important to you. That conversation, that's what's going to help you both decide on the best path forward. Okay, part 5, looking ahead in your treatment. So you've made the decision, you're on maintenance therapy. What does that actually look like long term? How long does it last? What happens day to day? Let's break down some of the key things you should know. First up, how long does it last? Well, here in the US, the typical approach is to continue the therapy until the disease shows any sign of progressing. But, and this is a big but, there's flexibility. It's really common to adjust the dose to help manage any side effects. Now, looking to the future, which is pretty exciting, studies are actually exploring whether some patients who have a super deep response might be able to safely stop treatment at some point. And finally, and this is so important, supportive care, things like managing symptoms, that's a constant priority through your entire treatment journey. And that brings us to our last section, and honestly, it might just be the most important one. Part 6, your role on the team. Because this is all about how you partner with your healthcare team to really take an active role in your own care. I really can't say this enough. You are not just a passenger along for the ride here. You are a crucial, vital member of your own healthcare team. What you're experiencing, how you're feeling day to day, what side effects you can and can't tolerate, that information is priceless. Knowing your options at every single stage, that is what gives you power. So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Beyond just fighting the cancer itself, what are your personal goals for your treatment? Seriously, think about it. Is your top priority minimizing side effects? Is it being able to keep up with a certain hobby or activity? Defining what quality of life means to you is going to help you and your doctor build the absolute best plan together. Thanks so much for joining us.